What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris, as always with me.
Just Liam.
Just regular old Liam today. But what an exciting episode we have to review. Today, we are going over HBO's Dune Prophecy, Episode 6, the finale. Were there enough episodes? Did it do enough to get to Season 2? Did it answer enough of the questions for us to actually feel good about Season 1? Let us know if you liked it or not in the comments below. Drop a 1 if you liked it, drop a 2 if it was disappointing. We're gonna dive in. What do you think, brother?
About which part? I mean, definitely right about the AI with Desmond.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I feel like he opened a lot of questions for me.
I think that's gonna be a big, if it gets renewed for Season 2, we're going to see a big influence. Because now we have proof that AI is still existing and that it is actually working behind the scenes to bring itself back to power. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, and a large theme of it was counteracting that fear virus that is run by the AI, right?
Yeah, and that was one thing I had talked about on the last episode that I thought we were kind of starting to like prelude to is the Litany of Fear and how the Gesserit are like, they use that so that they can basically conquer fear, and that fear no longer controls them. And we actually see in this episode that Tula works like Vanya through it. Like it works her through the actual first use of the Litany of Fear, which I thought was cool. Because you'll see, now that you have Children of Dune on DVD to watch, you'll see something very similar to that happen with a really powerful character as well.
I was also right. Tula did keep the son from her sister.
Yeah, that was an interesting turn of events. Not at all how I thought it was going to go down. Let us know, do you guys think that was how it was going to happen? Because personally, I thought she was just going to completely hide the pregnancy from her sister altogether. Instead, her sister was incredibly supportive and like wanted her to have the baby and like basically wanted to raise it with her. And it was Tula who was like, nope, I am not letting our family or any of this crazy maniacal plan that you're coming up with influence my son. And so with the help of her friend, switches the babies out, but did not see that coming.
I had a whole new appreciation where we watch the grandchild of the founder go ahead and kill herself, right?
You're talking about with the voice. So she didn't kill herself, she was forced to kill herself. Yeah, Dorothea, got it.
I had a whole new appreciation with that from this episode. And when you got to see Dorothea come back, right?
Yes, she's in control of Lila's body.
Is she going to be stuck there? Because I thought it was kind of sporadic how they can kind of jump in and out. And the one that is a past deity, or what'd you call them? Right? So is she going to be the abomination version?
He already is an abomination now. Just by having a previous ancestor inside of her body running it, that's abomination in the Dune universe. However, full-on possession, like that person's taking complete control of the vessel, is what you're seeing with Dorothea.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's what it feels like right now, is that she is just completely taking over.
Lila's not strong enough to resist, so right now, whoever basically wants to be in charge is in charge.
But Dorothea's grandmother should be way more powerful, correct?
Either there. So what they don't show you, but it's kind of like hinted to, is that the place where Lila goes, where she sees all her ancestors, is kind of like another plane of existence where they're all kind of like just hanging out, right? And so what ends up happening is on this plane, they can like still collude and work together and like basically create these maniacal plans. So what I'm guessing is that Dorothea and her other ancestors of some point have Raquella held down or submitted somewhere so that Dorothea can be in full control. Because I do believe that her grandmother would be strong enough to like fight her, take control, do certain things. So that leads me to believe that the ancestors are like working together to let Dorothea take over, or Dorothea has some sort of plan running by fear. She's doing something that's allowing her to be the one in possession. And then that is the reason why you see her basically be Lila throughout the entire episode, where Lila never bounces in and out.
It's quite
It's her. Yeah, she's in charge.
And she tricked the one acolyte into letting her go.
Yep, I thought she killed her.
I did too.
I totally thought she killed her, but she just put her to sleep, which I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that whole dynamic because it got super dark. Like all the other acolytes just becoming very weak and just like, I'm just gonna follow the new person, whatever. And then we saw the that older woman, we saw how she became who she was here. I thought that was really cool too.
She was originally a true believer.
Yeah.
Did not want anything to do with AI or thinking machines or any of that. And then through fear, straight fear of death, turns and decides to, bend the knee.
Because I was watching that as like, choose, right? Going through each of them, like, none of them coming out alive, are they?
Yeah.
And then there was just the one, and I was like, oh, I already know who that's going to be.
Yeah, and they did a really good job of like making her look so similar, right? So like you could really make the two connections. Yeah, and then what we're seeing right now is going to be a huge. Obviously, if we get season 2, will be a huge piece of it, right? We're going to have the unpacking of the AI and Desmond and what happened there, but we're also going to have the true civil war of the Bene Gesserit, right? As far as I've understood from the research I've done, haven't actually read the book Sisterhood, but I've done a little bit of research on it. It's like a bloody war that happens between the Harkonnen sisters and Dorothea's faction, where it's like the people who want the breeding program, the people who want the religious side of things, and there's like a true bloody civil war where it's not just a quick kill yourself kind of thing. And I think what we may be seeing.
So it's kind of like the Crusades.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. But I think what we're seeing is season 1 kind of gave us that quick death, but season 2 is going to pay more homage to the book and actually give us this really bloody internal Bene Gesserit civil war.
Has this been renewed?
We don't know yet. Not yet.
Still up in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, so let's see. The Atreides.
Yeah, truly fell. I was calling that all season. He is in love, and he's a love-struck puppy, and that he is going to abandon all rebellion, all family ties for that lady, for the princess.
I'm going to tease this now because don't want to talk about it quite yet, but I want to mention how cool it was, how I got to see and know the nods that they were doing to the future stuff at the end there. I thought that was so fucking cool.
We found out the Atreides' true connection, too. So he's the son of the one survivor of the hunting massacre.
That one that she let go.
Because his father used to tell him the same bedtime story every night. Did you guys catch that? That he's actually the son of the little boy that Tula lets live?
I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
I did catch that.
Yeah. Also, I was totally wrong. See, the entire time we've been seeing the blue eyes. Blue eyes for me is Fremen, means that, or someone who has consumed enough spice to have those blue eyes, has the ability to have precedence, to see the future. I was totally thinking it was a different character that I've hinted to many times in previous episodes. I won't keep going over and over. If you guys want to check it out, we have a whole playlist. I was totally wrong. It wasn't even 2 eyes. It was 1 eye, but it was his blurred vision that gave us 2 eyes. And the entire time, it really has been hinting to Desmond and hinting towards his journey, what happened to him, and how he became the way he was. Here, I was trying to make the connection all the way to the future of the books that we got first. But no, there's that connection. And maybe it was meant to make people who have read the books believe that, which it got me real good. But no, we found out that what we've been seeing this entire time was actually an AI. Kind of crazy.
Yeah. I believe, because I looked up some other stuff around it too. So, Erasmus?
Yeah, so he's the second in command under Ominous. So in the great thinking machine war, you had Ominous, right? Who was the hive mind, the big powerful one, right? He was the one in charge. But he had people under him, call them people, AIs under him, thinking machines under him, who were powerful as well. He was one of them, but what ends up happening is he gets disconnected somehow and is completely disconnected from the rest of the hive mind for 2 decades, maybe even a little bit longer. And so he starts to learn what it's like to have freedom, to be independent, to be his own thing. And so what I think we're seeing is that he's been on his own, he's independent, he's doing his own thing, because Ominous doesn't exist anymore, he's been destroyed, but we still see AI. And what we could be seeing, huge spoilers, right? Because he has not been introduced to the series yet.
I was going to say, has he been introduced in any of the filmography at all?
I mean, in the Balerian Jihad, the book about the thinking war, he's all over the place.
But no movies?
No, never been in a movie, never been in the shows. This will be his first time being hinted to back inside of any kind of cinematic universe.
That's what I had some questions around, because I was like, I don't recall that. But then again, I could have just in all the information that was coming to me in these episodes and the series and the movies and all that, I could have missed it because I'm still relatively new to this universe.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if it was through fault of my own or if it just really wasn't mentioned or not.
No, I mean, and also like we've mentioned many times, like the Dune universe is massive. You're talking 20 plus books of like canon and knowledge and like different things that could be layered into this. And so, you know, there's going to be a lot of things that could be thrown our way that we could be like, oh, the show made it up. But no, it's just hidden somewhere in the deep, deep books we've never read before.
And then another piece I want to talk about before I forget real quick, which I did not add to my notes, is the one acolyte, the shapeshifter. They talked about how she was an experiment.
Yeah, it's a Thylaxia that I brought up before.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they were created. I thought they were just an alien species.
There are no aliens. There are no aliens in Dune. Everything is human, and everything is mutated from spice. The Thylaxu are like very biomechanically engineered minded. So like they're always messing with cloning and DNA and like all that kind of stuff. Like that's what they focus on.
Oh, they're nerds.
But like genetic manipulation. Like they're trying.
I didn't Dr. Moreau.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
So could they create the Gola, which is like a person, like a complete recreation of a person from a single cell, which is what I thought Desmond was, right? But now we find out he was just a human who's been operated on by AI. Yeah. So Thylaxu are huge people that we get hinted to twice in this series. When you watch the show I brought over, you'll get a huge introduction to them because that's really when they become a huge part, is when they start introducing the Gola and that timeline of assassination into the Dune universe.
Okay, that's really cool. Oh, let's see. The Emperor.
Whoa, talk about the fall, man. Talk about a fall. He had his whole life ripped out from underneath him and then shown to him in the mirror. Like, you've been manipulated since you were a boy. You have never been in control. You are a weak man. Anything that you thought was love or care has been engineered that way. No one loves you. Your own family doesn't even like you. Your daughter hates you. Your son doesn't like. All that shit was like right in his face in that moment. And you could see it just broke. Like inside he broke. There was like nothing he could do, nothing he could say. He was just like, fuck.
Let's talk about that choice, though.
Well, it was the only thing he still had.
Was it, though? Or was that the intention that was engineered by talking to him about it?
So do you think that the whole thing, Francesca manipulated it so that she wouldn't have to kill him, he can kill himself? Or do you think it was even higher than that?
I thought it was Vanya.
Manipulated.
Valya.
Keep calling her Vanya.
I think Valya did all that word dump on him to make him feel like shit, to just keep that lie going so that he would go to that fate. That way she's covering her bases because she knows that, you said Francesca?
Francesca was the one that they sent to the Emperor.
The mother.
Queen's mother, yes.
Yeah. All right. So I think it was to hedge bets in case she couldn't go through with it.
Oh, I absolutely believe that. Yeah. Valya was very concerned that Francesca would not go through with it. You could tell. So I think she definitely hedged her bets there, for sure.
And I did not see the Empress using the poison.
Yeah, that was definitely out of left field. I didn't even think she was going to be in the scene.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's tink. So that was kind of cool to see. Very Romeo and Juliet, right? The star-crossed lovers die in the end. I thought that was pretty interesting the way that went down. And then she runs out of the room. The Emperor's been killed. So she's going to definitely use that to start some sort of... Well, I think we're going to... I actually do hope we get a season 2 because it does have a lot of potential. And where they're ramping up to, we can see some really interesting things, right? We literally leave the episode as we get introduced to Arrakis. Constantine's there, her older brother, half brother. He's now in charge of the largest fleet in the universe, right? And so you have the Bene Gesserit, Mother Superior, which she's not really anymore. I guess Dorothea technically has taken over the actual like sanctum. She's more on the run now, but very powerful nonetheless. Still a very powerful character. So you have and Atreides, right? So you have that like power on Arrakis right now, which is definitely going to show more signs of rebellion, in my opinion. That's definitely going to keep happening.
Well, what I was wanting to wait to talk about was the Arrakis thing. Like at the end, they showed both them going there, but it's not fully developed yet. So this is the start of that civilization or that empire that they created there, correct?
So when we get introduced to Arrakis, like we see it like the big Harkonnen city that they had built, right? So what? Forget the exact name of it now. Because there's the main city that the Harkonnens had, and then there's a smaller city, and that's the one that the Atreides take. They end up taking the smaller one because they felt like it would be better defended and less of a threat from the Harkonnen. But then, obviously, based on the movie and the book that we've all seen, doesn't work out that way because the Doctor betrays him. But I'm trying to think of the name of it.
I'm sure someone will let us know.
Yeah, it's not coming to me.
Let us know in the comments what the name of that city is that Chris is talking about.
Yeah.
So one thing I was really disappointed about, though, is I wanted to see more of where the one spy chick that left, that called everyone called Valia on her bullshit, like, look, don't listen to Valia, like, she's going to manipulate you type thing, open your eyes.
Talking about the Fremen, Bene Gesserit?
Yeah, that left. I was hoping that they would show a little bit more of that, or at least hint to where she is now.
He's on Arrakis.
Well, they mentioned that she was going to go there, but they never. It would have been nice to see just a quick little scene like, oh, there she is in the background walking towards them or some shit like that.
If again, it's a big if because we hadn't confirmed, but you'll see her in season 2, obviously, if that happens, because she'll be on Arrakis. She already has a connection with a sword master. So, yeah, I mean, she'll pop back up, I'm sure.
Desmond, eye is the big issue.
Yeah, I mean, eyes have been a huge theme throughout this entire season, right? Everything's like about an eye or going through the eye. Even the pools inside of the Bene Gesserit temple has always been like an eye looking down.
When they were showing that scene with the AI being imprinted on his eye from the robot thing, the whole time in the back of my mind, I literally almost burst out laughing while I was watching the scene. One eye to rule them all.
Oh, man.
Well, it was putting glyphs on the eyeball stem.
Yeah, it was.
So that's why I was thinking, like, one eyeball to rule them all. And that's just where my mind went with that part. But his introduction to his mother was very different than I expected. You got to see the scared little boy in him come out there. And prior to that, he pretty much had this feeling of, oh, I will end whoever this was. They did nothing but torture me. It's their fault that I am the way I am. I lived the way I did and all that. But in that scene, they did such a good job because it just brought him back to the scared little boy that he was and how he's been acting this whole time. And all he did so far was lock her up.
Yeah, well,
that's it. The way he talked before, I thought the moment he discovered her, he was literally going to end her life on the spot.
Yeah.
And we got to see the little battle between him and Valia when she has the virus activated in her, and Tula was walking the sister through it, calming her down, saying, embrace it, just succumb to it, don't fight it. Yeah. I thought that was really cool as well.
Litany of Fear. We saw the birth of the Litany of Fear right there.
We didn't get to see the fleet commander do anything else. I thought we were going to see him again before he left.
So I think what we saw, and this is my one gripe about this, and let us know in the comments, guys, if you'd like us to do a deep dive on this episode and really break it apart and really go down each rabbit hole of each of the different situations that are happening and where they can end up, predictions and all of that. Let us know in the comments. We'll do a whole deep dive on it.
That might actually have to be a series.
Yeah, probably. But what I think ended up happening for me with this episode is, even though they extended the runtime, which they had to do to get more in, I still found myself at the end of the episode being like, okay, there should be at least 2 more episodes. And by not having those in season 1, I think they did themselves a huge disservice, because as we sit here at the table, you're asking yourself, okay, well, what is the fate of the Fremen, Bene Gesserit / whatever she is, shop owner who was part of the rebellion, who had many, many faces? What is the role, and what is the bastard son Constantine doing now with the fleet? Like, there are so many questions that we still need answered. I guess great way to leave cliffhanger for season 1, keep us coming back for season 2, but I feel like you could have definitely...
You can keep us hooked in without failing to fill us in.
Right, agreed. That's where I was getting at. And so I think it's got potential. I would be interested to see season 2 and see where they go, but I would really like for them to do a full season and not just short.
Fuck your 6-episode bullshit.
Yep. But other than that, guys, let us know down in the comments. Like, if you guys, enough people want it, we'll take the time to do a full deep dive into it all. But other than that, this has been a real fun experience to go through, and we're still going through Silo, so definitely check that out. And
Silo's getting crazy.
Silo is getting crazy. If you haven't checked that out, definitely check out.
Man, there's 4 more episodes. Eat that, Dune.
Absolutely, man. So with that being said, guys, if you enjoyed this episode and you want to check out the entire season that we did in Dune, you can check that out right here. Like I said, we're also doing Silo right now. We're reviewing that every Friday, dropping episodes every Friday. You can check that out right here. There's also another episode, something you may like, right above my head. But as always, do not forget to subscribe and hit the little notification bell. It'll make sure you never miss a single episode. And we really appreciate all you guys engaging in the comments. It makes this more than just us talking heads. It really becomes a discussion. So my name is Chris. We'll see you guys on the next video.
Nom 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 nom.
Peace.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were, you've already come far.